Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex and today I'm doing a little answering your questions about POI slash DOR slash gut health, all of the stuff, fertility. I asked you guys over on Instagram to ask me any questions that you might have. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first question, if it's not too personal, were your AMH levels? Do you still have normal periods after POI? My AMH when I was diagnosed was 0.24. That was back in 2022. I was having like some long cycles and short cycles. I never lost my period, but it was like slightly irregular. I guess you could say my period was becoming slightly irregular. After I did my initial diet and lifestyle changes, which I talk about all on my channel, so if you haven't seen those, definitely go back in my videos and look at all of the changes that I made. I can link one of the really good videos right here so that you can see that. After I made all of those diet lifestyle changes and started acupuncture, my periods normalized again and became like kind of a rock solid 26 days. I did still have spotting. I have had premenstrual spotting since 2018, so that was still happening, but I was having a 26-day cycle. But yes, now I do have normal periods. If something happens, it will delay my ovulation. Like I recently lost my grandmother and I had to fly to England to go to her funeral because half of my family is English, and it delayed my ovulation like 2 weeks, so I'm having a long cycle right now. But when everything is normal, yes, I have a normal cycle. Okay, second question is, how did you know you have POI and not DOR? So when I was diagnosed, my levels, first of all, I don't fit into a neat diagnosis box. I don't fit neatly into the POI box or the DOR box is what I have noticed. And also different sources define POI and DOR differently. So there's that. So the truth of it is that I don't know for certain because I don't fit in a perfect box, but I had the hormone levels, which are often described to be POI. So I had FSH, it was like 30.8, my AMH was 0.24, and my estradiol was really low, I think. Like, it was like 28 right before I got diagnosed, and I can't remember what it was when I got all the other blood work, a couple of months later. But I know like in June of 2022 I got my estradiol tested and that was 28, and then in August is when I had the FSH and the AMH tested, and I think I also had my estradiol tested, but I can't remember what it was then. But the AMH was 0.24 and the FSH was 30.8. So those are all hormone levels that are consistent with POI. The only issue is that I never stopped having a period, and once I did make lifestyle and diet changes again, my period regulated again, and my hormone levels are not the same every month. Nobody's are. Everybody's go all around. So if you are still cycling, your FSH is not going to be the same every month, your AMH is not going to be the same every month, and your estradiol is not going to be the same every month. They change. So my gynecologist says I don't have POI because I have a period. Like, a lot of places define POI as not having a period for 4 months. So like technically maybe I never had POI, but then again my hormone levels were consistent with it and were not consistent with DOR. So I hope that answers your question. My hormone levels have improved since being diagnosed. I will never get my AMH tested again. I should have answered that in the last question. I will never get my AMH tested again because I don't feel like it's helpful, and it's traumatizing, as everybody knows. It's not helpful because your AMH changes cycle to cycle. It's a reflection of how many follicles you have developing in your ovaries at the time. It's not a reflection of your entire ovarian reserve. And if you guys haven't seen my video on POI misconceptions, go ahead and watch that because I talk about that in that video. Okay, next question. Since living this new lifestyle, what has helped the most? I want to say that it's a toss-up between diet, acupuncture, and lifestyle. I also eliminated like a ton of toxins from my life, so I went through like all of my bath and beauty, personal care products that I use for cleaning, like, you know, pots, pans, textiles I use in my home. I still haven't really done that with my clothing and stuff, but yeah, so removing toxins from my life, and then also diet, so anti-inflammatory diet, and acupuncture. Acupuncture I think was really huge, and taking the herbs that my acupuncturist prescribed me. Also healing my gut. Healing my gut was huge. I remember after I did my gut healing protocol, I had the first good progesterone level I'd had since I had been measuring it. So it was usually like 9, 10, 11 at most, and my progesterone, the cycle, like 2 cycles after I finished my gut healing protocol, was a 17. So I think also healing my gut helped a lot, although since then I did have low progesterone levels, but it was because I was going through fertility treatments and everything was thrown off, like my whole body. Gut health is like a constant thing, and I really think that kind of has to be the foundation, and I'm going to touch on that again in another question. Next one, constipation, burping, flatulence, tests to run, supplements that helps you. So I did not have any of those issues, but those are definitely gut health issues. The test that you want to run is probably some kind of a microbiome test. I would go with the most comprehensive one that you can find. The one that I did was a GI map test. You can watch my video on that up here, and I go through all my protocol that I was given for this, but gut protocols can be highly individualized. When I did my gut protocol, I took supplements that were from my functional medicine doctor's line, so I don't think that you can get them online, but I'm going to link all of the similar ones that I took, and then I'm also going to link the gut protocol that I did so you can see that. I would definitely urge you to work with a functional medicine doctor because this can be a really difficult process and not everybody is going to react the same, so please exercise caution. You don't want to mess around with supplements. You don't want to just do what somebody else did. It's always best to test and not guess. So if you can do the GI map test or some other microbiome test that's going to tell you what's going on, that would obviously be best. Definitely probably H. pylori, and you want to test for SIBO because that kind of sounds a little bit like SIBO, but I'm not a doctor and I can't give you medical advice, just so you know that. Have you tried peptides? Yes, I have tried peptides. I took BPC 157 with my gut protocol, and I also took genolutin. I don't know how to pronounce that, but BPC 157 is supposed to heal your gut and like connective tissues and things like that, and it worked, but it's not like a magic pill. It's just gonna cure you of POI, and genolutin is an ovarian peptide, and I do feel like it may have helped. It wasn't massively helpful, but again, I don't really know what the source of my POI is. I think that it is from toxin exposure because I started getting symptoms around when I went through bedbug fumigation in New York in my apartment. The genolutin is an ovarian peptide that is supposed to help, but you need to cycle it and it's quite expensive. So I will link the one that I took so that you can try that if you want. And yeah, that's it for the peptides. Did you fix your gut health prior to doing Amy Raupp's egg quality diet? So no, I did not. And honestly, if you can do both at the same time, that's probably the best case scenario. So beginning a gut health protocol while you're also doing the egg quality diet or the AIP diet or some kind of anti-inflammatory diet is really like the ideal situation. So I did the egg quality diet first, and then like a year later, I did the gut protocol. And I would have saved a lot of time if I had just done them at the same time. So if you can do that, that's definitely the way to go. Okay, I was wondering, did you ever have to take estrogen or do you already produce enough? I have never taken estrogen except for during fertility treatments. I do make enough on my own. So one of the good ways to tell if you're making enough estrogen obviously is testing. So you can get blood tests or you can use a mirror at home to see if you are producing enough estrogen. Usually there are really blatant symptoms that you don't have enough estrogen, so you probably know if you don't, but also I always get fertile cervical mucus in my ovulatory window, which is a very good indicator that you're producing enough estrogen. So I always get that around ovulation time. So no, I have not had to take estrogen, but I have supplemented with progesterone. So far this cycle, my body has not needed it. I've been producing enough progesterone on my own to prevent premenstrual spotting. And just so you guys know, like my progesterone has always been in normal range, but it's on the low side of normal, and my body shows symptoms of low progesterone, so that's why I've had to take it. So that's all the questions that I'm going to answer for today, guys. Thank you so much for asking, and make sure you go ahead and follow me over on Instagram so that the next time I do one of these, you can ask me your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.